Anything else, guys? Does anyone else want to add anything to it? Right, perfect. No worries, guys. Thank you so much for those answers. Those are exactly right. There is nothing wrong with them. Okay, but if I had to just add upon that hacking, that definition, I would add it as hacking is the procedure of trying to gain access to information systems. Okay, these information systems could be anything. They could be from as small as a mobile phone to as big as a web application server or a database or the cloud organization as well. Okay, and this is done without the permission or without the consent and knowledge of the person owning those systems. Okay, so if those systems belong to a third party person, that person does not know that someone is trying to gain access to their information or the data. Okay, and this is usually performed by hackers for their own benefit. So once they get access to the systems, they can steal the data, destroy the data, or sell the data as well to other third party vendors. Okay. Now, depending on this definition, we easily understand that hacking is a malicious job. It is a criminalistic task. If it is such a bad thing to do, why do we have a course called ethical hacking? Is the second question. Because ethical is something which is legal, which is allowed. And how can it stand beside the word hacking, which is completely contradictory? So to define ethical hacking, on the other hand, this is the procedure of trying to find vulnerabilities. Okay, a vulnerability is nothing but a flaw or a loophole in the information system. So usually manufacturers might make mistakes somewhere here or there in the coding of the application. Okay, so that gives rise to something known as weaknesses in the information system, or in technical terms, it is also called as vulnerabilities. Okay, and this vulnerability finding, or the process of trying to find these vulnerabilities, is done with the consent and permission of the organization. Okay, so this is done in order to report it back to the target, okay, or to the authority, so that they can apply the appropriate patch for it. And once a patch is applied, that vulnerability is closed. It closes the doorway for the hacker to cause any harm. So thereby, with ethical hacking, we're trying to increase the security of the organization rather than cause any harm. Okay, so that is the main difference, guys, between hacking and ethical hacking. Where in hacking, we are trying to find, again, the hacker tries to take advantage of those vulnerabilities and tries to get information access. But in ethical hacking, you're trying to find those vulnerabilities, you're trying to report them back to get them patched so that you can increase the security. Okay, so I hope these two definitions are clear, guys. Again, if you have any questions, or if you have any queries, or if you want me to repeat something, please do not hesitate to let me know. Okay, feel free to interrupt me at any certain point. Okay, so now, depending on these two definitions, guys, of hacking and ethical hacking, we can categorize the types of hackers. So basically, there's three types. There's someone known as a black hat hacker, a gray hat hacker, and a white hat hacker. A black hat hacker can also be termed as a cyber criminal who performs hacking for his own benefit, okay, or sometimes even just for fun, without asking for consent. On the other end of the scale, we have the white hat hacker. Okay, white hat hackers are also known as ethical hackers or penetration testers. These are the people who abide by the laws and policies of the organization, and they work hand in hand with them to find the vulnerabilities and report it back. They do that so that they can secure the infrastructure rather than causing any harm. Now, in between, there's a third category, also known as gray hat hackers. Now, from the name itself, you can figure out they have some qualities of the black hat hacker as well as the white hat hacker, hence a mixture. Okay, so like a black hat hacker, they don't ask for permission before finding the vulnerabilities, but once they find the vulnerability, they report it back to the organization. Okay, and that is done in return for a bounty. A bounty is nothing which benefits them. It could be a financial reward or a reputational reward, anything which benefits them or their careers. Right. So all these three types of hackers, whether it be a black hat hacker or a gray hat hacker or a white hat hacker, they perform hacking or ethical hacking in a certain number of steps. Okay. And those steps collectively are called as hacking cycle or cyber kill chain. Okay. Now let me list those steps out one by one so that you can have a clear picture of what the whole course is about, and then we'll briefly discuss about all of them. Okay, so you can ask your questions regarding those. Okay, so the first step that you perform in hacking cycle or cyber kill chain is known as information gathering. Now, certain organizations term this step in different names. They can also call it as reconnaissance or footprinting. Second step is known as scanning. It can also be referred to as enumeration. Third step is gaining access. Fourth step is maintaining access. And the last step is known as reporting. of clearing traces. Now, the reason I've specifically mentioned or in the last step over here is because that is where it makes all the difference between the white hat hackers and black hat hackers. If you are a white hat hacker or an ethical hacker, you would perform the first 4 steps and then you would generate a report with all the vulnerabilities and the solutions for that and submit it to the organization. But if you're a black hat hacker, obviously you're not going to submit the vulnerabilities, but you're going to take advantage of them. You're going to attack the system, get access to the data, steal the data, and then remove all the evidences, which is nothing but clearing the traces or removing the footprints. Okay. So any questions or doubts, guys, up to this part before I proceed further into the technical part? Any queries or any confusion at the moment? Again, guys, I hope the audio and video is fine. Any issues with my audio or video?
Okay. What is this enumeration, sir?
Again, yeah, we'll be coming to that, guys. We'll discuss each of these steps one by one, so you have a better understanding of what all of them are. Okay. At the moment, until now, here there are no questions, right? Because I guess there's some issues with the audio or video. Some people are exiting and rejoining again. Any issues, any technical issues with my audio or video at the moment? Okay, perfect.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Oh, my voice is breaking. 1 second, guys. Okay, hello, 1 2 3, hello, 1 2 3.
Now it is
Guys,
okay.
it's okay, right? Right, perfect.
Clear, sir.
Right. Let's proceed now, guys, and understand each of these steps one by one, so you have a clear picture of what they are. So the first step is information gathering. Again, as the name itself suggests, this step involves the hacker or the ethical hacker to gather as much data as possible about your penetration testing target. Okay, and all this information is gained passively. What I mean by passively is that you get this information from other third-party sources rather than contacting the organization directly. Okay, so for example, if I have a target like Wipro.com, about Wipro.com, I'll start searching online for all the material for it, okay, all the data regarding Wipro.com servers. Okay, the main question is, what kind of data are we talking about over here? And this is the information that we require. So firstly, we try to figure out all the IP addresses and the range of IPs used by the Wipro's main servers or the secondary servers. Then the who is records to understand who is hosting Wipro.com and since when has it been hosting itself. Then the DNS records to understand what information is stored in their DNS servers, domain name servers. Then employee details such as their contact numbers, their email addresses, their usernames and passwords which are leaked, and their home addresses if possible, and so on. So then the domains and the subdomains of Wipro's website, and the operating system information, like what OSs are being used by the servers that are linked with Wipro.com. Now, trust me, this guys, that all this information is available online to be gathered. So if I show you a very basic example, let's say if I wanted to find the DNS records for Wipro's organization, all I have to do is go to the browser, and in the browser, I can search for a website called DNS Dumpster. This website is available for free for anyone to access. You can click on the first link, and over here you can just search for Wipro.com, and you can click on search, and now this is going to fetch and give you all the information about the Wipro's DNS servers. So first things first, it tells you where the Wipro servers are being located on the geolocation map. So it tells us that there are 4 DNS servers for Wipro. As you can see, these are their host names, exact host names, and these are the exact public IPs. These IP addresses are very important for a hacker or an ethical hacker to proceed with the further steps of scanning and enumeration. Okay. After that, we can see that there's the host record telling us what are the Wipro servers IP addresses and the subdomains IP addresses. So this is the main Wipro.com server, which is being hosted on the IP 66.7.148.227. Again, this information is very relevant for a hacker or an ethical hacker to proceed further. Further down, you can also see it also gives us the complete network topology. So this is how Wipro servers are connected to one another, and we have the whole network topology with the host names and their IP addresses. Okay. So this is basically whole Wipro's organization, main server data. So again, this data is readily available, guys, for anyone to be accessed. That is not the vulnerability. Wipro themselves manually give out this data so that everyone around the world can access their servers. If this information is not given out, not many people will be able to access Wipro services and the website. Okay, the giving out of information is not wrong over here, but not checking if the information that you're giving is secure or not is the vulnerability. Okay, so we have to see that whatever Wipro is disclosing, all these servers one by one are completely secure. Okay, after information gathering is done, then we go to the next phase, which is known as scanning or enumeration. Now, one of you asked me what scanning or enumeration is. This is nothing but trying to get some extra information about the target by making active connections. What I mean by active connections is that you will directly connect to Wipro servers, and from them you will try to fetch the information. Okay. Similarly, when we talk about enumeration, that is about gathering as much information as possible about all the services that are running on the target organization. So in a Wipro's organization, you might have DNS service, DHCP service, SNMP service, Telnet service, SSH service. These are the multiple servers, multiple web servers, or multiple other organizational servers. So about each of that server, you need to get information, like what version of services are they running and what applications are they running. So enumeration is trying to gather information about all the servers one by making active connections with them. Okay, so you're directly going to ping those servers and you try to fetch the information from them directly rather than contacting any third-party organization. Now, when we talk about scanning or enumeration, there are three types of them. There's something known as network scanning, then port scanning, and then finally vulnerability scanning. In network scanning, we can try to figure out on the target network what all devices are active. Okay, so what operating systems are they using, what servers are available, what client operating systems are there. So trying to understand what all devices are they using, IDS, IPS, routers, switches, what all devices are there. On those devices, then you perform port scanning. Port scanning is where you try to figure out what ports are open, and on those ports, what services are there running. Okay, what applications are there running. Then finally, you perform vulnerability scanning to figure out on those services, are there any vulnerabilities? Are there any weaknesses that you can attack on? So during this phase, we'll be using two important tools called Nmap and Nessus. So if I just search for enable Nessus over here, this is the tool that is used in organizations as well. So if I click on the first link, as you can see, this is Nessus Professional. If I click on buy, it's around $4,000 for 1 year subscription. Okay, quite an expensive tool, and this is the same tool that is used in real-time scenarios. So we'll be working on the same tool in our classes as well. We'll try to understand how to use this tool and how to run or perform vulnerability scanning. The reason why I'm showing you all this is just to make you understand that we will be using real-time scenario tools. Okay, whatever is used in organizations at the moment, we are up to date with those tools. Okay, after if I show you example, as you can see, I have the Nessus installed on my system over here. I'll show you how you can install on your system as well. And you can see, you can perform various types of scans. And once you scan a system, it shows all the vulnerabilities one by one. The critical vulnerabilities or medium vulnerabilities, information-based vulnerabilities. Again, don't get too confused, guys. We'll again learn how to understand this report. What are these vulnerabilities? What are these different levels of vulnerabilities? We'll understand all that. Okay, but basically Nessus is a tool which can perform network scanning or port scanning and try to understand what vulnerabilities are there on each and every system. So this is an automated tool. We'll learn how to perform automated testing and get a report from it. Once you get a report, you need to perform manual testing also. Okay, and that is nothing but our next phase, which is gaining access. Okay, so this is a huge concept. It covers a vast variety of topics, guys. We'll discuss them one by one. Okay, so the first topic that we'll be learning in gaining access is system hacking. So in system hacking, we'll understand how we can crack or bypass a Windows operating system password. So if you have Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Windows 10 or Windows 11, does not matter. Okay, whatever operating system you have, how do we crack that operating system? How do we get the information about their passwords? If you are unable to get the passwords, how can we bypass authentication and get access to the internal files is what we learn in system hacking. After that comes malware attacks. Malwares are nothing but, in short, malicious softwares. So we'll practically learn how to create each of these malwares, whether it be viruses or worms or trojans, spyware, whatever it be. We'll understand how malwares are generated and how we can protect our system from malwares. Or if there is a malware already installed, how can we detect that malware and prevent it from running further or causing any further harm. Okay, then there's a bonus topic called malware advanced. This is again not included in the CH curriculum. We have just added it as a bonus topic for students to have better understanding about malwares. In this, we'll be sharing the resources to understand how you can create your own malwares by using Python program. So just in case if you know Python, well and good. If not, also not an issue. We'll be sharing the resources as extra material to understand. So if you are interested in malware development or so, this is a very important bonus topic for you. After that comes network penetration testing. In this, we'll learn all the common network attacks. So in a network, you have multiple, again, devices, IDS, IPS, multiple different types of servers like mail server or DNS servers, DHCP servers, SNMP servers, and so on. So we'll understand how to check for vulnerabilities on each of these servers. Along with that, we can perform a few attacks as well. Sniffing attack, man-in-the-middle attack, denial of service attack, or distributed denial of service attacks, DDoS. Okay, and hacking Wi-Fi routers, trying to crack the password of Wi-Fi routers and getting access to those routers. All this comes under network penetration testing. Okay, all the common attacks that we can perform in a local network. After that comes social engineering, where we learn how hackers create fake websites. Okay, whether it be facebook.com, instagram.com, twitter.com, or flipkart.com. How are hackers creating fake login pages, and from those fake login pages, how are they getting the passwords, credentials? So we learn what phishing attacks are, what are the other social engineering attacks through which hackers manipulate victims into getting their passwords. Okay, so we learn all that, and we'll also understand how to prevent these attacks, how to distinguish between a fake page and an original page, and so. After that, we have web application pen testing. In this, we learn all the common vulnerabilities that exist on websites. So again, websites also have some weaknesses, okay, on which attackers can exploit and try to get access to the internal web server data or the internal database data, and so on. So to list out a few, there's vulnerabilities such as SQL injection, cross-site scripting, broken authentication, file upload vulnerability. Now, might sound very technical, guys, but these are the weaknesses using which hackers can get access to your information, to your passwords and usernames. Okay. After that, finally comes hacking mobile phones, where we learn how we can hack an Android phone and get access to that Android phone remotely. After gaining access is done, then we have maintaining access and again maintaining access, reporting and clearing traces, where we learn how we can maintain persistent connections. So if the target is restarting his system or shutting it down and starting after a very long time, how do we get access to that data? How do we still stay connected to the victim machine? Is what we learn in maintaining access. After that comes reporting or clearing traces, where I'll show you how you can generate a report and submit to your client or submit to your organization, or how do you remove the evidences. So this course is designed in such a way where we learn both the perspectives of a black hat hacker as well as a white hat hacker. Okay. And it's designed in a completely practical way, no theoretical nonsense. Every day we'll have a class for 1 hour, where the first 20 minutes we'll discuss the theoretical part, understanding what that attack is or how to prevent that attack. And then the remaining 40 minutes we'll discuss the practical part of it, okay, with real-time scenario tools. To list out a few tools, we'll be using this tool such as Nessus, we'll be using Nmap, we'll be using Burp Suite, we'll be using the whole main Kali operating system, okay, which I have over here, as you can see. Okay, before that, let me show the course content as well, guys, very quickly. So yeah, this is over here, the course content for the whole course. Okay, and the course is for a duration of 35 days, where we learn from the very basics itself. So most of the students ask this as a question, like, sir, are there any prerequisites? Do we need to learn something else separately? No, this course is designed in such a way where even a 10th standard student can come and learn the course for, without any trouble. Okay, because all the prerequisites are included in the course itself. So before we dive into the advanced concepts, there's a few prerequisites which we will cover. The first few introductory classes. First things first, we learn about networking basics. We learn what IP addresses are, what are IPv4 addresses, what are IPv6 addresses, what is a DNS server, what is DHCP server, all the important protocols, what is TCP protocol, what is UDP protocol. We'll discuss all that in networking basics. Then we'll jump into virtualization. Okay, virtualization, because as you can see over here, I'm running my Windows 11 operating system. On top of this, I'm running my Kali OS. Kali is a Linux-based operating system. Okay, and we need to install this. The reason being, this comes pre-installed with all the penetration testing tools. So for information gathering, web application attacks, password attack, Wi-Fi attack, all these tools are available in Kali Linux. These are not available for you in Windows. So that is why we need to understand how to install this Kali operating system. Okay, and for that we need a tool such as VMware. VMware is a virtualization software. This allows you to install multiple operating systems on the same machine. So I have my Kali OS, I have my Windows 7 OS. All of these are running on my Windows 11 operating system, as you can see. Okay, so on my Windows 11, I can run my Kali, Windows 7, whatnot, as many operating systems as I want. After that is done, then we learn basic Linux and Windows commands, because as I've mentioned, we'll be using Kali Linux. So we need to know how to operate that OS. Okay, so we'll understand what the basic Kali commands are. We'll get familiar or comfortable with the Linux environment, and then we'll dive into the advanced concepts. Okay, so there's a few extra concepts there mentioned as well, as you can see over here: cryptography, reverse engineering, IoT, cloud security. These are not mentioned in the presentation for us, but these are all the topics that we'll be covering. Okay, the whole course duration is around 1 month, guys, 30 to 35 days, and we'll have a class from Monday to Friday onwards for every day for 1 hour. Okay, and the timings will be same. We'll have timings at 8 p.m. Every class will be recorded, and you'll be getting the recordings as well online, which we will have permanent access to. So just in case if you're missing out any class, you can access the recordings whenever you want. Okay, if needed, we can take backup classes as well on Saturdays and Sundays, just in case if there's a lot of absence. Okay, so yeah, that's that, guys. A quick introduction on what the course is and how long the duration of the course is. If you have any questions, you can shoot at me right now. Please let me know, guys. Any queries, anything that you want me to repeat or so.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Sir, why we use that websites that you show before this PPT?
Sorry, Yogesh, I didn't get your question. Can you please repeat?
Sir, we as you said that we use some websites for ethical hacking. So that website that you opened before this PPT, I'm asking about that
Yeah,
website.
the DNS dumpster website, as you can see over here. This is for information gathering, trying to gather information about any certain client. So before we perform hacking, it's very necessary that we know all the data about that organization or the data about that target. So in order to get that data, we have to visit these third-party websites. Okay, sometimes your organization might not give you that data sufficient for us. Okay, that is why we need to gather that information from other third-party sources, websites like DNS dumpster and so on. Okay, the more the data you have, the more possibilities you have to attack the system. Okay, the more attack vectors you can find or possible paths you can find to attack the system. Okay, so that is why it is necessary to access these websites and get the data about our target from these websites.
Okay, sir, understood.
Right. Any other questions, guys?
Sir, which type of penetration testing we are going to learn here?
Again, CEH is a very comprehensive course, guys. We're not going to be going into any advanced level penetration testing, but we will learn all the kinds of, whether it be web application pen testing or network penetration testing or system hacking or Android pen testing. We'll be covering the basics of all of them. This is a course designed for people who are completely new to cybersecurity, and we can't leave out any endpoint. So we need to understand how to perform network security testing. We need to perform web security testing, Android security testing as well, and Windows or Linux security testing as well. So we'll be learning all of them one by one. Okay, we'll be covering each and every endpoint that is left, as you can see over here in the course content. Okay, but as I've mentioned, we won't be going in depth of all of them. We'll learn how to check for security vulnerabilities, basic vulnerabilities, and how to remediate them, how to remove those vulnerabilities. Okay, if you want to learn about any advanced after CEH is done, then you can go with advanced courses such as web application pen testing for bug bounty. This course is specifically designed only for website security testing. So in this, we'll be going with OWASP top 10. Okay, this is an organization which gives you the list of necessary vulnerabilities that you have to test for, and this course only focuses on web applications, nothing else. Okay, so after CEX is done, then you can choose a specific domain, and depending on your interest, you can choose your specialization. Okay, whether it be website security or Android security or network security or cloud security and so on. So
Okay, sir. Thank you.
right. Any other questions, guys?
No, sir.
Right. Okay.
After
So
course completion, certification provided.
yes, if anyone is interested in writing the CEF certification as well, we provide support for that also. There's complete pass guarantee. So I usually handle the certifications myself. So if you're planning on writing a
So this is
certification,
job guarantee.
this is what? Sorry.
Job guarantees.
Sorry, I didn't get you guys. Can you please repeat that? Hello.
After this course is job is.
He's asking
Oh
a
yeah,
placement
yes,
assistance.
job assistance. Again, guys, at Durga Soft, you're not going to be providing any confirm guarantee that we'll be placing you in an organization, but we'll be sharing your resume once you forward it to our consultancies. Okay. So in the price of 8,000 rupees, we are only including the course content with the course completion certificate. And if you're planning on writing a certification, we will give you certification support as well. Okay. So at that price of 8,000 rupees, we are not in contact with the complete job placement facility, but we do have few consultancies where we can give you your resumes too. Okay, once you're done with the resume preparation, I'll be helping you out in understanding how to create a resume as well, depending on a cyber security profile. I'll be also sharing the common interview questions, and I have a few references as well to whom I can forward your resumes. Okay, and again, we will be giving you the interview calls, and you can start attending interviews over there. Okay, again, it depends on your skill set and your practice on how well you do the interview. So we don't guarantee anything, but we will definitely show you where you can start applying. If it's necessary, I can just give you one source now itself. You can, after your course is done, this is the common website that I usually suggest for students, jobs.null.community. This is a website only specifically for cybersecurity job roles. Okay, nothing else. As you can see, null jobs. This is the website. Okay, and these are all the different domains, and you can start searching over here. So if you're a complete fresher, just click on freshers or internships, and these are at the moment these are the available placements. Okay, so for internships, okay, if you're not into internships, you want a specific job role, you can start applying for VAPT, vulnerability assessment and pen testing. These are the ones at the moment for cybersecurity. After the course is done, you can start applying over here also. So this is one website that I suggest to most of the students once the course is done, so start applying for jobs. Okay, so again, how well you do, it depends on your skill set and your practicing, guys. Okay, and this website is specifically only for cybersecurity jobs, nothing else. Okay, any other questions, guys?
No, sir. Thank you.
Right, again, if you practice properly and if you're done with the course, guys, and if you're thorough with all the concepts, getting a job in these portals is not that tough. Okay, there's a lot of students from our previous batches as well who have searched for jobs in this nuts.job.co.in, and they found their internships and their jobs. Okay, so again, as I've mentioned, once you sit for the interview, it's all on you. Okay, so it depends on your preparation of how well or bad you do. So we can't guarantee anything, okay, because that's on your skill set, but we can at least show you where you can start applying for jobs. Okay, so yeah, that's that, guys. Nothing further for our session today. And yeah, if you have any queries, again, over here is my number, just in case if you have any queries, technical queries, you can let me know. This is the number over here, 768-006-9768.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Prabin, I can hear you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know. Actually, I'm a working professional.
Right.
I'm working on the front end side, but wanted to move into this domain. So, what suggestions could you, give me on that side?
Again, same, I would recommend if you're completely new to this domain, go with Certified Ethical Hacking, CH version 11. This is a foundational course for people completely new so you'll be learning everything from scratch. After that is done, if you possible, if time and financial permits you, you can write the certification as well from EC Council. So there'll be a CH examination for 125 questions. Okay. And if you give 75% of them right, you get certified from EC Council. You get a certificate from the US organization. Okay. So that adds edge to your resume. If not, if you are not, again, certification is quite costly. It's around $500. So if you're not planning on writing the certification, I would recommend doing some extra advanced courses as well after CH is done, and then add that at least to the resume to build some edge again. Okay.
Okay, and is there any coding involved here, or is it into completely into, I mean, the security part?
Not at all. In CEH, you don't have any requirement for coding level language. But if you're planning on going for some advanced courses like web application pen testing or mobile security testing, there you might need to have some basic knowledge. Okay. So when we talk about web application, it is necessary that you have basic knowledge on HTML and JavaScript. Okay. But when we talk about CEH, the foundational course, for this we have no requirement for any coding level language knowledge.
Okay, and what kind of roles are we can apply after the completion of this course? Like someone is if having 5 years of experience and he has transited into this particular cyber security, what kind of roles would be available?
Again, as you can see over here, these are the roles that you can start applying for. VAPT assurance lead, VAPT senior security analyst, cyber security consultant. These are all the job roles. Penetration tester, security analyst, or monitoring job roles, and so on. Vulnerability assessment tester. These are the job roles you can start applying for.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Right. Any other questions, guys? Right. Assuming there's no more questions, guys. So yeah, that's that for a session. Nothing further. Again, we'll be starting the course from Monday onwards, guys. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we'll be having the same demo. So just in case if you have joined late also, you can join tomorrow as well at the same time. And if not, you can directly join the course on Monday. Okay. If you have any further technical queries, guys, here's my contact number as I've mentioned already. Although if you have any queries regarding the course date or again course fees regarding that, you can contact the institute. Okay. So yeah, that's that, guys. Sure. So I'm gonna be exiting, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the demo. And yeah, if there's any queries, please do let us know how we can help you. Okay. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, guys, can you see my screen? Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Right, perfect. Let's do one thing. Let's just wait for 2 more minutes for the other people to join as well, and then we'll start
Okay,
the
sir.
session.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Very
Sure. Anyone who's viewing or joining the session today, fresh without joining yesterday? Anyone from that such? Okay. I hope everyone has joined yesterday as well. Oh, Anand, this is your first class. Achha. Okay, Anand, I'll do one thing. I'll just take a quick recap of whatever we discussed yesterday in the meanwhile. Okay, there's Biswajit, Mamoon, Ravikiran. Ravikiran, did you call me in the evening, Ravikiran? I was a bit out. I was a bit busy. I'm so sorry you couldn't attend to your call. I thought of calling.
Yes, sir. Actually,
It
I
slipped my
called you
mind.
because I had one query. So,
Achha.
sir, I will call you. Means I will ask you on a telephone call only.
Sure.
Is that
Again, I have a class till 10 o'clock after your batch also. So give me a call after 10. Okay.
okay, sir. No problem. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Satyadin, Shiva, Sujata, Tripti. Okay. Tripti, I have received your email as well. I'll be sharing the notepad file today. I'm so sorry I couldn't do it yesterday.
Okay, sir, no problem.
Sure. Okay, so a quick recap, guys, on yesterday's class. We were discussing basic networking concepts. Let me open up my networking document. Yes. So again, we are in the first prerequisite concept, guys. We're understanding what basic networking concepts are. So Anand, what we discussed yesterday was basically IPv4 addresses. Okay. So every device has a unique identity to it, and that address is known as a IPv4 address. IP stands for Internet Protocol, and this is the fourth version of it. Okay, the ones which is successfully working even in today's world. It's a 32-bit address basically. What I mean by 32-bit is that it contains 32 zeros and ones consecutively. Okay, and then it is divided into 4 octets, each of 8 bits. Okay, so this is how the address looks like in the binary format. The binary is nothing but the language that computers understand, the 0 or 1 language. Okay, but this is not that human readable. We don't understand it that easily. What we understand is the decimal numbers from 0 to 9. Okay, so what we did, or what we learned yesterday, was how to convert any binary number to a decimal number. Again, quite a bit lengthy. I won't be going through that. If time permits, go through the recordings. We'll be uploading all the recordings once the payments are confirmed. Okay, so once you're joining and once you make the payment, you can access the recording for yesterday's session as well. Okay, so we have understood how to convert binary numbers to decimal numbers, and from that we got the range of IP addresses. First IP being 0000, and the last IP being 255.255.255.255. These are the IPv4 address range. Okay, and then we learned what is the consecutiveness. So what is the sequence of IP addresses? What are the 2 important rules for that? And then we have seen how many IPs are there in total, 4.3 billion IPs. So where we ended the class yesterday was we learned that these 4.3 billion IPs are divided into 2 categories, public IPs and private IPs. Okay, so this is where we worked up to, guys, in the last class. Okay, so we have to continue from here onwards in today's. So yeah, this is the new thing. Okay, so let's get started, guys, without any further ado. So if you remember yesterday, as I've mentioned, there are 2 categories, public and private. Okay, public IPs are the IPs given to you from the ISP, Internet Service Provider. Okay, whatever ISP you have at your home, Act FiberNet or Airtel or Tata Docomo or BSNL, these all companies are known as Internet Service Providers. They provide you, or they give you, the service of internet. Okay, so whenever you want to access a website, okay, which is on the internet facing side, you always need a public IP on your system. Private IPs, on the other hand, are for intranet, for local communications. Okay, so in your device, in your network, if you have your phone, your laptop, your smart TV, your smartwatch, and so and so, if each of these devices want to communicate with one another, they have to have their own unique identities. Okay, and that local unique identity is known as a private. Okay, now if you remember, I've told you that there are 2 categories only, but there's one more categorization. All these 4.3 billion IP are again categorized into 5 classes. Okay, why classes? I'll explain that very shortly. Okay, but just to understand, as I've mentioned, there are 5 classes. Let me draw it out and show you. Just a second, guys.
Shall we write something or you?
No, again, if you want a running notes, you can write side by side, guys. Okay, as I'm teaching. But if not, as I've mentioned, just like yesterday, I'll be sharing the same recording notepad file. So I've already shared the notepad file with a lot of students, whoever gave me their email addresses yesterday. If not, I'll share again. Okay, so yeah, I was telling about 5 classes, as I've mentioned. So this is how your classes are categorized. So if I take this whole big box over here, I hope the drawings are visible, guys. Let's say this whole huge box is my IPv4 addresses, the whole IPv4 range. Addresses. How many addresses do we have in total? 4.3 billion addresses. Okay, now these 4.3 billion addresses are divided into 5 categories. Okay, so let me draw some smaller boxes. So this is the first class, class A. Then you have class B, and then class C, and class D, and class E. So these are the 5 boxes. Okay, so this is class A, as I've mentioned. Then there is class B. Then there is C, D, and E finally. Now each of these classes again are categorized into public and private IPs. We have already seen this yesterday. So this has some public and private IPs. This has some public and private IPs again, class B. Class C also has some public and private IPs. Class D and class C, there are no private IPs. All of them are directly public. So class A has a few public IPs and a few private IPs. Okay. Similarly, class B also public and private. Class C also public and private. But class D and class E, they have no private IPs. All of them are public IPs only directly. Okay. So if you want to take a screenshot or anything, guys, you can take a screenshot of this image of like a classification of IP addresses. A very simple diagram. Okay. So from this diagram, you can remember which classes have what type of IPs. Okay. So can I clear the drawings, guys? If you're done.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, let's try to understand the range of each of these classes now, one by one. So as I've mentioned, the first IP starts at 0000. Last IP ends at 255, 255, 255, 255. These are my 5 classes. And guys, you have to memorize these values. Okay, these 5 lines of data. So class A starts at 0000 and this ends at 127, 255, 255, 255. Since this is ending at 127 and all these 3 octets are filled, 255s, then the next number starts at 128. So class B, that is why, starts at 128,000 and ends at 191, 255, 255, 255. Since this is ending at 191, class C starts at 192,000 and this goes all the way up to 223, 255, 255, 255. Since this is ending at 223, class D starts at 224 and ends all the way up to 239, 255, 255, 255. And finally, since this is at 239, class C starts at 240. So all you have to remember is 4 numbers, guys. This 127, 191, 223, and 239. Easy ways to remember. On left side, you have all even numbers. Right side, you have all odd numbers. Okay, 0 to 127, 128 to 191, 192 to 223, 224 to 239, 240 to 255. Okay, on the left side, you have all zeros. On the right side, you have all 255s and 3 octets. Okay, now these are the classes, class A, B, C, D, and E. Again, in each class, if you remember, I've told you they are public and private IPs. So in class A, between 0000 and 127, there's a range 10,000 to 10,255, 255, 255. These are the public, private IPs in class A. Any IP outside this range by default is a public IP. That is a key important rule to remember. Okay, any IP between this range is a private IP. Any IP outside this range in class A is a public IP. Okay, similarly in class B also, between 128 and 191, there's a small range, 172 1600 to 172 31 255 255. This is the private IP range in class B. Any IP inside this is a private IP. Any IP outside this range is a public IP. Similarly in class C also, between 192 and 223, 190 to 160 to 190 to 160 255 255. Any IP inside this range is a private IP. Any IP outside this is a public IP. Okay, so just to practice out these ranges, guys, I'm going to write down 10 IPs as examples, and you have to look at these numbers. Okay, you have to look at these 8 lines of data and tell me which IP is belonging to which class and whether they are public or private IP. Okay, let me quickly write down a few IP addresses, guys, over here. Okay, one last time just to make you understand. If you take a class A example, so between 0000 and 127 255 255 255. So this is the whole class A range, guys, as you can see, between 0000 and 127 255 255 255. So in between this, there's a small range, 10000 to 10 255 255 255. This is the private IP range. Okay, any IP inside this range is a private IP. Any IP outside that So from 0000 to 9255.255.255, these are public IPs. Again, after 10, you have 11.000 to 127.255.255.255. These are also public IPs. Okay. So in the whole range, you have in between private IPs, and outside that you have public IPs. Is this clear, guys? Any question or doubt up to this part?
No. I understood.
Anyone? Right. Everyone? Anyone who has not, please do not hesitate, guys. Please let me know. If you want, I will explain again. Anyone who wants me to explain this again, guys, who has not understood this? Perfect. Okay, guys. I hope you're not being shy or anything. Please do not hesitate, guys. It's going to be your loss. If you want me to explain, I'll try to explain in much better formats as many times as you want. Okay. The main objective is that you do not get confused here. Okay. Because these are very important foundational concepts. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write down 10 random IPs. You have to look at these ranges and tell me which IPs, which class, and whether they're public or private. So let me quickly write them down. Sorry. Okay, so I have 10 IPs over here, guys. Look at the first IP, 10, 20, 30, 40. Now tell me which class it belongs to first.
Class A.
Class A, perfect answer.
Class A.
Why class A? Sorry?
Class
Yeah, guys,
A.
right, perfect. Why class A? Because this is 10 dot something, and 10 is falling between 0 and 127. So that is why this is a class A address. Perfect answer. And which IP is it? Is it a public IP or a private IP?
Private IP.
Private IP. Perfect answer. Why specifically private? Because now you told me that this is class A, and class A private IP starts from 10.0.0.0 and up to 10.255.255.255. Okay, so the first octet is matching 10. After that, the remaining 3 octets, it can be any number between 000 and 255.255.255. So this is a private IP. Okay, next IP, guys.
Class C.
Sorry, class B. B for Batman.
C.
C. Okay, C for cat. How many of you say this is class C, guys? Everyone, or any other answers?
No, the
Class
190
C.
class C.
Right, class C. Correct answer, guys, everyone. Sujata, was that you who answered first, or Tripti, was that you?
Yes, sir.
Sujata, okay, right. Okay, after that, now can you tell me which IP it is, whether it's a public IP or a private IP?
192, 168. It's a public.
It's a public
Mine
IP.
is private.
Okay, I have what do you say, conflicting answers over here. Some of you are saying public IP, some of you are saying private IPs. How many
Yes,
of
sir.
you are voting for public IP?
Yes, sir. Public.
No, sir, private. The private, because you have written here 192 private IP class C.
Okay,
But
192.
it is from 168. It is 165. So it should be
192,
private.
168.
It's public IP address.
The
Yes,
private
guys.
IP. So you have mentioned over
No.
the
Yeah, Biswajit, point is right. Okay, if you take the first octet, 192 is matching, well and good. Okay, but if you observe the remaining 3 octets also, this is 165. Okay, and in private IP, it's starting from 168.00 to 168.255.255. Okay, number is 165, which is outside that range. So therefore, this is a public IP. Okay, so you answered correct first time, and then you changed your answer later on. So again, no confusion. So in class A, it should be between 10 and 10. Remaining 3 octets, doesn't matter what they are. In class B, it should be between 170 to 16 and 170 to 31. Okay, doesn't matter what the remaining 2 octets are. In class C, it should be between 190 to 16800 and 190 to 160 to 255 255. So these two should match first 2 octets. Remaining 2 doesn't matter what they are. These 00, 255 255 doesn't matter. Okay. Next IP 172.16.01. Which class?
Class B.
Class B. Private IP.
Class. Perfect.
Private.
Public or
Yeah.
Private.
private IP? Perfect answer. Next one, guys.
Class
Class
D.
E.
Public.
Class D.
D. Okay, D. Public or private?
The public. There is no private in class D, right?
Right. Correct answer. So in class D and class C, there are no private IPs, guys. There are only public IPs. So therefore, this is a public IP. Next one.
Class A. Public.
Class A. Class A
Class
public.
public. Are you sure this is public, guys?
Class A public.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. Correct. Public IP, because this is 11 dot network and 11 is outside the private IP range. Perfect answer. Next one. 192.168.1.5.
Class
Class
B.
Class C private.
Class C private. Correct answer. Class C and then private. Next one.
Class B.
Class B.
Class B
Private.
public.
Public. Perfect. Why specifically public? Because this is 172.45. Okay. Private is from 172.16 and 172.31. And this is 45 inside the range. So that is why this is a public IP. Next one.
Class B public.
Class B. Public.
Class B public. Perfect. Next one.
Class D. Public.
Class D. Class
Class
D.
Public.
D.
Public.
Correct answer.
D.
D.
Public. Okay. Last IP.
Class C public.
Class C public. Correct answer. Okay. So what you have done over here is a great job, guys, by looking again, all the answers are right, no issues anywhere. Initially a couple people stumbled here and there, but no worries, you have got this concept right. I hope everyone has participated in this and answered it. If you have not participated as well, I hope you are getting it in your mind right at least. Anyone who has not understood anything out of these, is it still gibberish for anyone who is not able to make out like what is happening over here? Anyone as such? Please do not hesitate to answer, guys. This is a completely new concept. Okay. So even if you're not getting it, that's completely normal. I sucked a lot more. You're doing great. Okay. So yeah, that's that. This is a great concept. Again, what we have done over here is, guys, we have taken the help of these 8 lines. I would recommend you, if time permits, please memorize this at the earliest. As soon as you look at an IP, you have to figure out just by looking at it, which class it belongs to and whether it's a public or a private IP. It's very important for us in the coming concepts. Okay. So over here, if I go to my browser and if I check for my IP, that's my browser. If I search for what is my IP, can you tell me what IP will I be getting over here?
You will get public.
Public.
Public IP. As you can see, it's mentioned over here. This is my public IP. 49, 204, 238, 146. Can anyone tell me which class it belongs to? It is a public IP for sure. But which class?
Class
Sorry?
in
Okay, there's
notes
some confusion. Open this notepad file. Yeah.
49. It's I think
Class
Class
A.
class
A.
Class A.
Yeah.
Class A.
49 is pretty. Yes, perfect. Class A and public IPs. Okay, so whenever you check in the browser, guys, it will always show you a public IP. If you want to check a private IP for your local machine, yeah, Biswajit.
Sir, in each time, whenever if someone is typing what is my IP, so every time it will show you only class A IP address.
Not necessarily. You can get it from class A, B, or C. Any class.
Okay. Means it
Okay,
is varying.
you will never get. Sorry.
It is varying or what?
Yeah, it will vary, definitely. It will keep on changing. So you can get a class A public IP, class B or class C. You will never get class D or class C. I'll explain why. But it can vary between class A, B, and C. Okay, it can alternate. Okay. Now, if you want to check your private IP, guys, I hope that is
How it
clear.
is?
How? So you it depends on your ISP. ISPs have their own set of IP addresses, and from that set, they will allot one IP to your system or to your network. Okay. So whatever IPs they purchase from the various organizations, that IPs they can add. Okay, and they will purchase IPs from any range, class
Sir,
A, B, or C.
in total, all over in like India, all this is called everyone have select systems. So whenever they are accessing the internet, so what they are the ISP or providing their IP to this machine, public IP. Is that are you
Yeah,
saying?
that's what. Yeah, exactly. So wherever you're accessing internet from, every internet connection needs definitely compulsorily a public IP. Okay, so in my network, if I have 100 devices, all of these 100 devices will have the same public IP because they're connected to the same router in my home. Okay, because the router is where from where the ISP is giving me a line, and in that line I get the public IP. So these 100
No, like
devices will have different private IPs,
no,
but the same public IP.
so actually, sir, my question is like I am using the internet through my mobile. My mobile have Geo internet or Airtel internet, so I'm accessing through my internet from my mobile. So Airtel, so like my mobile have also IP address. So that I was get just little confused.
Definitely, your mobile will also, when you're using the Airtel SIM card, that SIM card is where you'll be getting from that SIM card a public IP. Right? That SIM card is in direct connection with your ISP over the wireless network.
Okay.
Okay, right. Okay, so those also get public IPs. Whenever you want to connect to the internet, whether it be a SIM card or whether it be a home broadband connection, any of them will always get a public IP. Now, don't get confused if you get sometimes a very long IP. So that would be IPv6 addresses. Okay, sometimes you see a number IP like this. This is IPv4, and sometimes you see alphabets also when you search for what is my IP. A very long number that is IPv6, guys. Okay, usually SIM cards get IPv6 public IPs. Okay, so do not get confused with that. We have not come to IPv6 yet. We'll discuss that later on. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions up to this part, guys, for the time being?
What is the role of these classes here?
Good question. I'll be coming to that shortly. Tripti, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tripti, I'll be coming to that. Good question. It is very important that we need to understand why we have these separate classes. Why not a single class? Why are we making it complicated? Okay. So yeah, we'll be coming to that very shortly. So next topic is understanding that only. Okay. So, but before that, one quick review. I've shown you how to see a public IP, but I've not shown you how to check a private IP. So if you want to check your private IP, guys, you have to open up your command prompt. And in the command prompt, you have to search for a command ipconfig. And this ipconfig command will give you the private IP. So right now, if you notice, I'm connected with my Wi-Fi network over here. Okay. So for that Wi-Fi, I'll be seeing over here the wireless interface, as you can see, wireless LAN. And that shows me my private IP over here, 192.168.0.5. Now, can you look at this IP and tell me which class it belongs to? 192.168.0.5.
C.
C.
Right? Class C.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, 192.168.0.5. And can you tell me if it is surely a private IP or public IP? 192.168.0.5 over here. Right. Okay. As you can see, it is falling
Private.
between this. So that is why, therefore, it's a private IP. Okay. Now, coming to the next part, why do we need these classes? Okay, what is the necessity? Why not one single class? Okay, so for that, we need to understand something called network portions and host portions. So I'll write down what these network and host portions are, and then we'll understand these portions one by one. Class A has one network portion and 3 host portions. Class B has 2 network portions and 2 host portions. Class C has 3 network portions and 1 host portion. Class D and Class E have no host portions. All of them are network only. So as you're progressing down, you can see the network portions are increasing one by one. There's only one network portion. Class B has two network portions. 1 second, I'm receiving an audio back. Guys, I'm going to mute everyone. Okay, if you have any queries, please feel free to unmute yourself. Okay, because there's some background disturbance. Or you can mute yourself, guys, as well. Yeah, thank you. If you have a question, please feel free to unmute at any certain point. Okay, right. So again, Class A has one network portion, Class B has two, Class C has three, Class D and Class E all are network portions only. There are no host portions. Now, what are these network portions and host portions? Class C, we'll take the example first to let us understand. So Class C has three network portions and one host portion. And the first private IP starts at 192.168.0.0. That is the same thing which I've written over here, as you can see. Okay, so if this is the first IP, 192.168.0.0, the first three portions are the network portion. Last portion is the host portion. Okay, so if this is the first IP, next IP will be 192.168.0.1. Next IP 0.2. Next IP 0.3. Next IP 0.4. This goes on up to the last number 0.255. Okay, can you have an IP like 192.168.0.256? Is this possible?
No.
Right, again 255 is the maximum number you can get in any octet. So 256 is not possible. So once an octet reaches the maximum value, the next left octet will change. So this 0 now becomes 1 and this 255 becomes 0 again. This is what we saw in yesterday's class, cycling. Okay, so the 0 becomes 1 and this 255 becomes 0. Then you have 1 0, 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4 up to 1 2 5 5. After that 2 0, 2 1, 2 2, 2 3 up to 2 2 5 5, 3 0, 3 1, 3 2, like that till the end, 2 5 5 0, 2 5 5, 2 5 5. Okay, now what I mean by this network portions and host portions is that as long as the network portions are same, all these devices or all these IPs will belong to the same network. Okay, and these are just individual hosts. Okay, so this could be my router, this could be my laptop, this could be my smartphone, this could be my smart TV, my smartwatch. All these are different devices in the same network. They can communicate with each other, they can share files, they can talk to one another. But as soon as the network portion changes, so the network portion for this is 192.168.0. So as soon as this is changing from 0 to 1, the network is dividing over there. Okay, so even if you bring a device with this IP and connect it with a LAN cable to the same router, they will still not be able to communicate in the same network. Okay, because this is an IP from a different network portion. Okay, so these are a different network altogether, and these IPs belong to a different network. Okay, so what network and host portion signify is that how many hosts you can connect in each network of that. Okay, so over here in Class C, since there are three network portions, the first three are going to act as the network ID for us, 192.168.0. network. Okay, last octet is going to act as the host number. So this is the first device, the second device, the third device, fourth device, fifth device. Like that, you can connect 255 devices in each Class C network. Okay, so this is a completely different network with 255 devices. This is another completely different network with 255 devices, and they can't communicate with one another because their network portions are different. If you want them to communicate, you have to put a router in between. A router is a device which is capable of transferring data from one network to the other network. Okay, if you have a switch is capable of connecting multiple devices in the same network. Okay, so with a switch we can connect all these devices. With a router we can make communication possible between two different networks. Okay, so that's a differently again, that's altogether a complete different concept, guys. But what you have to understand from this is that in Class C, which has three network portions and one host portion, we can, all the first three are the network portion bits. Okay, and that is also known as the network ID. Okay, and the last portion is the host value. Okay, so 192.168.0.0, this is the first IP, then the second IP, then the third IP, then the fourth IP. Like that, you have 255 IPs. After 255, the next network starts. Okay, is this clear, Tripti? What is this network portion and host portion? Everyone else as well? I guess Tripti asked the question, why do we need these classes? So in Class C,
Yes, sir.
we can connect only 255 devices. Now, when I take the example of Class B, in Class B, there are two network portions and two host portions. So if I take the first private IP, 172.16.0.0, This is the first private IP, guys, as you can see. That's the same thing which I have written over here. Okay, so in class B, if this is the first IP 00, after that next IP 01, next IP 02, next IP 03, next one 04. This goes on all the way up to 0255. After 0255, then you have 10, 11, 12, 13, up to 1255, then 20, 21, 22, 23, up to 2255. Like that, the cycle repeats again and again and again. And finally, you reach somewhere 255, 255. Now, once these both octets are filled, this 16 now will change to 70. Same concept. As long as the network portions are same, okay, 170 to 16, as long as this number is same, all these are different devices in the same network. But as soon as the 16 changes to 17, the network will divide over there. Okay, now these are a completely different network IPs. These are a completely different network IPs. And this is also a completely different network again. Now, how many devices can we connect in each network of class B? From 170 to 1600 till 170 to 16.255 255, we can connect a total of 255 into 255 devices, which is 65525 hosts. In class C, we could only connect 255. In class B, we can connect 65,000 devices. Is this clear, guys? Any question up to this part? Anyone?
Sir, actually, could you please explain little bit again?
Okay, class A, C or class B, Viswajit?
No, actually, I understood class C has some portion, class
Yeah, one
class.
second. Right, sure. So again, as I've mentioned, each class has its own network and host portions. Class A has only one network portion, class B has two network portions, class C has three network portions. What I mean by these three network portions are that in class C, if I take the first private IP, 192.168.0.0. So from this 00 IP till 0255, okay? So this last octet is the host portion. What is host?
Yes.
Host is nothing but an individual device, okay? Your laptop, your phone, your router, your smart TV, smartwatch, whatever appliance is there or whatever device is there, that is a host. So each of these is a different device. Okay. Now, if I connect my phone now with a different IP, 1.1 IP or 1.0 IP, and if I bring it in this network, it will still not be able to communicate because these IPs belong to a different network, one dot network. These are the zero dot network. Okay. So in class C, like that, in each network, you can connect maximum 255 devices only. If I take class B next, there are two network portions and two host portions. So that is why from 1600 till 16.255.255, all these are in the same network. So that is why you can connect maximum 255 into 255 devices. That is 65,525. Is this clear now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Anand, might be a bit confusing if you're completely new to networking concepts. I hope you're getting along.
Yes, sir, I'm getting, but there is a question in class is I think you have said that we need a different router to connect between those two networks.
Yeah, definitely. Again, whenever you have two different networks and you want communication possible between two different networks, you would need a router in between. For a same network communication, we need a switch. Okay.
Sir, can you explain that again? I didn't get that. How
Yeah,
like
sure.
we need a
Let me show
different
you. Again,
router.
basically, if I show you how a switch looks like, networking switch. This is your switch, Anand. Okay. So this is what you use in companies. Okay, and you can see this is a 32 port switch. So you can connect 32 devices. Okay. So I can connect 32 systems over here. Okay. So a switch is a device that is used for same network communication. Okay. If you have 32 computers, you can connect a LAN cable from each computer to the switch and they will be able to communicate with one another. Okay. Well, again, condition being each of them is getting an IP in the same network. Okay. So all of them should belong to the same network IP. Okay. If I bring a device with 1.1 network and if I'm connected to the switch in this network, and if I put the LAN cable also, it will still not be able to communicate. Although it is physically connected, logically it is getting a different IP from a different network. So it won't be able to communicate. Now, when you come to routers, So networking routers. Okay, this is how routers look like. Okay, might be a bit similar to switch though, as you can see, but somewhat different. Okay, a router is capable of connecting two different networks altogether. Okay, so let's say I have switch A and switch B. To each switch there are 32 devices. If I want these two different networks, okay, let's say switch A is a 0 dot network, switch B is 1 dot network. Now if I want them to communicate together, I have to connect these both switches to a router in between, and then through the router they can transfer packets. Okay,
Okay.
this is clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right, in our home network also that is the same thing that happens. Okay, this is how our home router looks like, the Wi-Fi router, and that router is communicating between two different networks. What are the two different networks there? One is the internet, the other is my local network, local LAN network, Wi-Fi LAN. Okay, my phone, my smart TV, all these are getting private IPs. So when these private IPs want to communicate with the public IP, you have a router in between, communication between two different networks. I hope this clarifies more.
Yes.
Right, perfect. Any other questions, guys, up to this part before I go with class A example now? Okay, now when we take class A, if you remember, I've told you class A has one network portion and three host portions. So first IP is 10.0.0.0. So from 10.0.0.0 all the way up to 10.255.255.255, all these IPs belong to the same network because the first network portion is constant. Okay, doesn't matter what the host portions are. Okay, they can be anything and they will still belong to the same network. As soon as this 10 changes to 11, there the network divides again. Okay, so from the first IP 10.0.0.0 to 10.255.255.255, we can connect a total of again 255 to the power 3. Okay, those many devices. Okay, so in class A we could only connect 255 devices. In class in class C we could connect only 255 devices. In class B we could connect 255 into 255 devices, and in class A we can connect 255 into 255 into 255 devices. So that is the main difference between the classes, guys. Okay, each class has its own what you could say limitations. Okay, each class is connecting a certain number of hosts only. Okay, if you want to connect less than 250 devices, you can go with class C for small networks. If it is a multinational company where you have more than 255 devices, then you can go with class B or class A. Class D and class E are special IPs, guys. We do not use them. They are not given to the general public. They are used for other services such as military services, government portals, news broadcast, or weather telecast. All these research and development, all these various organizations use class D and class E. Okay, they are not given to the general public. Is this clear, guys? Any questions or doubts up to this part? Anyone? Anand, Biswajit, Mamun, Ravikiran, Shafiuddin, Shiva, Sujata, Tripti.
No, sir.
Right.
Okay, sir.
Tripti, I hope it is clear for you now, like why we have different classes. This was your question, basically.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess Tripti was the person who asked. I hope it is clear for her.
Yeah, it's clear.
Right. Okay. Again, yes, we have a few more topics to discuss, guys, actually. But one thing, I guess there's a couple more students also who are supposed to be joining. Okay, again, there's no confirmation on the fees as well. A couple of you have confirmed the payment and a couple of you have not yet. Okay, so that is why what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the session over here for now. Okay, we have 15 minutes left out. So if you have any questions or doubts, you can let me know. If not, I'll share the document now. So please share your email addresses, guys, if you have not shared yesterday, so that I can share this notepad file again. So I'm going to be sharing the same file which I shared yesterday. 1 second. So yesterday I got 5 email addresses. One second.
Sir, my email address Shafiuddin Sayed 70 @gmail.com.
Oh yeah, 1 second, Shafiuddin. Just a minute. Shafiuddin.
SHAFI,
Yeah, SHAFI,
UDDIN,
UDDIN,
UDDIN, SYED
SYED
70
70
@gmail.com.
@gmail.com. Okay. Any other
So
email
clear the
IDs you have?
yesterday's file also.
Yeah,
Sir,
same
my
file. No difference. Same file itself.
sir, my email ID. Happy is Anand.
Okay, I got it. Any other emails guys which I've missed out?
Yeah, my one, I think you message.
Sir, can I get yesterday notepad also if it's available?
Yeah, same file guys. I have not changed the notepad file. It is the same notepad file as yesterday itself. Okay, so it's the same notes, no difference. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hi, sir. Can you write down my email?
Yes, please. You could let me know your email.
Yeah, Mamun, MAMUN.
MAMUM.
No, N. Last N.
Oh, N.
CHY.
CHY.
72 @gmail.com. 72.
72 @gmail.com. Right. Guys, please check your email addresses. If any mistakes, if any typos are there, please let me know. Is that it?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. I've attached the textpad file. It is the same notepad file as yesterday, as I've mentioned. Okay, and I've sent it.
So there is class tomorrow.
Good question. Yeah, again, guys, tomorrow there is no question, no class. I forgot to inform that. Tomorrow is a festival, Ganesh Chaturthi. So wishing everyone a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Tomorrow we have no class, guys. We'll have the next class the day after tomorrow. Again, please make the payments, guys. If you have not, I'm taking a short session today just to again confirm on the payments. So the institute will give me the payment list by day after tomorrow, and depending on that, the link might change soon. Okay, so only to the people who have paid or made the fees, you will be getting the new link, guys, to continue the sessions. Okay, so yeah, that's that, guys. Nothing further for our session today. I'll exit and I'll see you day after tomorrow.
Hi.
Tomorrow there's no
Yeah.
session, guys.
I have a question. If you are not Raj, can you? I know you started the program. Sorry, the training program. The ethical hacking, right? This one.
Yes.
This is ethical hacking. So, what's your total plan? How you will proceed one by one? That's what I want to know. Your plan.
Oh yeah, after CH is done, if anyone is interested, we can go with the next advanced course, which is web application pen testing. So I teach that as well separately. So once you're done with CEH, there's another course, web application pen testing for bug bounty, which primarily focuses on website security. Okay, how do you check for vulnerabilities on websites? What vulnerabilities really exist? For example, such as SQL injections, cross-site scripting, broken authentication, CSRF, cross-site request forgery. These are the vulnerabilities that pen testers need to test for. Okay. The reason why I teach that course specifically is because that is the main booming field in India at the moment, website security, because there's a lot of companies that are coming online. Every business is shifting online. So with the rise in websites, there is a necessity for a rise in website fraudulent activities as well. So after CH is done, you can join that course, web application security.
So actually, what the course fees of web application security?
Same, that is also 8,000 rupees.
Okay, and cloud security, same.
Cloud security is a bit different. That is around 12,000, guys. But again, I am setting up the lab for it at the moment. So at the moment, it is on hold because my AWS plan is completed. So I have to refresh that again. I have to renew that. Okay, and then start it up. So at the moment, there is no cloud security, guys. It might take a while. It might take a month or so.
Yes, sir, actually, I wanted to like after completion of this course and learning all the things, practicing, then I was thinking to learn cloud security.
Sure. Again, as I've mentioned, I'm going to be providing the resources for that in the meanwhile, if you're planning on specifically focusing on cloud security. And once I start a live batch, you can join that batch as well.
No, actually, I wanna like join cloud security as well as web application security both.
Sure. Again, after CH is done, I'll right away start web application security. After that, again, we can take cloud security separately. Okay. Mamun, you have
So,
raised your hand if you
yeah,
have any question.
so basically you will focus first to one is the ethical hacking, and once it's done, then you will focus on web applications. This is the main course you are focusing, right?
Yes. So this is the foundational course, Mamun. Again, there's some
Yeah,
background
that's what
disturbance.
I want. Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Only after this course is done, I would recommend you go with the other courses. If you don't go with this one first, those might seem a bit confusing because we won't be going with any basics at all. We directly dive into the advanced concepts. And if you're a complete fresher to the cyber security domain, doing that would be quite troublesome, you could say.
I got you.
Right. Yeah, Anand, you have raised your hand.
Sir, we are going to learn ethical hacking over here in 8,000 for 45 days, right, sir?
Yes.
And sir, if after that, if we want to attend cloud security or web application, then we have to pay more, like 12,000 or something, right?
For web application, it is 8,000. For cloud security, that's 12,000. Again, cloud at the moment, as I've mentioned, is not running. There's no upcoming batch because usually people never go for cloud security. I don't have a formation of a batch for that. Usually students go with CH and web application and they start applying for jobs. So, but if that's the case, we have to take a separate one-on-one session for that.
Sir, my next question is, can I have the course contents, like what we are going to cover in ethical hacking?
Yes, sure. Let me attach that over here itself. Yesterday also someone asked. Let me do that. 1 second. Yes. I've
And sir,
sent that also, which
thank you,
contains
sir.
the course.
And my next question is, sir, after like completing this course, after 45 days, are you going to help us to get a job or to build our resume, something like that?
I definitely will help you with your resume building. I'll show you a sample resume. I'll show you how to create your own resume. I'll give you the sample interview questions as well. And I will also give you, again, I provide usually this website at the end of the course. This is a website specifically for cybersecurity job roles, jobs.null.community. So you can access this website and start applying for jobs. This is only and only specifically for cybersecurity job roles, nothing else. Okay.
So
So this
to
is
access website, like we have to